Welcome back to City Thots Podcast. I'm hosting today. Sam, Sean, and Ivan.
My name's Ivan.
And I'm Sean.
If y'all already forgot me, I'll be upset. But it's the way you act. So I want to.
You're acting like a lot.
Yeah, he's acting like he really said don't host. I'm going to take it away with my little dance moves. Anyways, we're going to start the podcast talking about traits. I want to say nuanced traits or like niche traits that we find attractive in the opposite gender.
Yes. They're like a weird skill set, I guess. So we were talking about this, and I was like, "Oh, Sean."
This started because Sean works at Cactus Club, which is like a restaurant, bar situation, whatever. And there's whatever, so unimportant. There's this drink called the Brazilian that's like a kiwi drink, so good. And we were on that topic because that's my favorite drink of all time. And then it led into Sean saying that he's gotten so good at cutting kiwis so quickly because he'd have to prep for this drink. And then somehow that led into, is that like an attractive trait, or like what are other like niche skills?
I think because one day I was just cutting kiwis and my partner looked at me. And then she looked at me too long. I was like, what's going on here?
I was like, oh.
She's like, you're gonna have to peel me
you got that kiwi.
off the bedroom. You're gonna cut off these clothes right now, Sean.
Stop. Enough.
You gotta give me a Brazilian.
We've hit the line. We've hit the line.
Okay, we end that. I ran out of puns anyway.
Okay,
It's only up from here, then.
Yeah, okay,
we got it out of the way. Everybody gets one.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like, and you're doing it, and your partner was looking at it way too long, and I was like, she found that hot, right? That's attractive, because I that's the thing where like
I'm gonna have to confirm with her if she actually found that hot, or if that's just something you are self-proclaiming.
No. There was she said something to affirm the fact that she's like,
okay.
oh, you cutting kiwis is making me feel a particular way.
And we've hit the line. I don't want to hear that anymore.
So like. But
also, so for context, Sean's girlfriend is also my best friend. So just like, that's also context. Anyway.
Were you just still standing like, okay? Like what was your reaction?
You like that?
You're like,
my reaction was like when I do things that I have done at work, I go into work mode. So I'm like I'm like furiously cutting these kiwis.
Right.
I'm like in the zone, right? And she's just like looking at me. I'm like, what's wrong? Like, am I not cutting these kiwis correctly? I'm like, I'm not slowing down for no one.
But in her mind, she's like, don't slow down. Don't you dare slow down. I'm so close.
Oh, okay.
Man.
But do you have for you, do you have one? There's it's like when a guy catches thing really, really well. Mm-hmm. Girls find that attractive.
Yeah.
So it's like the same niche.
Like a nonchalant, they're just like
So for me, it's not even that like they can catch well. It's like the opposite. If you can't catch, that's an ick. But if you can catch, that's just like the standard.
That's a standard?
Yeah.
Damn.
Sorry.
I'm never catching anything in my life anymore.
Don't even try.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't say like you catching things is like suddenly going to be attractive. But you not catching things is unattractive.
That's even worse because at least like there's a reward when you do, right? But if it's not like, I'd be like, yo, Sean, can you hand me like
okay,
my keys over there?
Yeah, it's not like a not attractive. But I wouldn't necessarily make note of it. I'm like,
but if it's like
wow.
a no-look catch, it's like, hey, throw me my keys.
Oh, I would be attracted
just like out of frame. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, I'd be attracted to that.
I don't know why that's kind of icky.
Okay, but
like think about like someone just be like
no. What if it's like mid-conversation, grabs it out of
like
the
it's
air.
casual. Yeah, we're fine.
Not like.
That's what you did. That's what you did.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. But it has to be casual. It has to be like a.
Yeah, like it has to just be like I'm just.
So the nonchalant.
Yes.
Yes.
The not trying too hard.
Is it the nonchalantness? Because I wonder if that's the case with you and your partner, where it's like, for you, this is what you do. You're peeling
effortless.
kiwis. It was effortless.
Everyone's just gonna think of me as the kiwi peeling guy now.
We need to.
He doesn't have a name anymore.
We need to have a day where we just like video you.
Okay, well, I'm really good at peeling kiwis, and I'm Domino's fastest pizza maker. So
all I hear is you're really good with your hands.
Oh yeah. You gotta feel
I'm
the
attracted.
thickness of the dough. You know, you gotta figure that out. It's that mind muscle connection. That's
true.
what it is, you know?
Sure.
Nonchalantly.
Yeah, I will say when someone's like really good at like knife skills,
Yeah.
that is really attractive. I would also say just like looking at the wall, like if you can like hang things really well and like measure them really well, you know what I mean? And it's like really
I don't
straight.
know what you mean.
That's so funny. He's just
That's so niche.
Like I can hang a painting like totally fine, but if you're calculated with how you're gonna set this up so that it's like super straight, super even, and whatever, and there's like a process that you got going on.
Like you bust out
That's
like the
The
level.
level. I'm thinking about the level.
and you have like you can tell that in their mind there's like a right way to get this done. Like for me, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna look at the wall, I'm gonna like maybe measure the wall, whatever. But it's like to me, it's just like my feel. Like I'm gonna try and get this done. But if someone's like confident, like step 1, I'm gonna do this. Step 2, I'm gonna do this, and like get it all perfect.
Like, what about is the fact that he's organized or he has a
It
plan?
is.
He has a plan.
It's organized. It's planful. It's like something about being like detail oriented that I kind of like.
Okay.
Yeah. Like,
Because I also feel like I've noticed that more females that I know are detail oriented than the males that I know. So I feel like it's a little bit more rare from what I've seen.
that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Or from the people I like fraternize with, I guess.
Fraternize with?
Fraternize
What does that mean?
With the enemy?
The enemy, like,
Yeah.
All
They
men
are-
are evil,
they
but
are
you look
enemy.
organized.
are we in the fraternized category? Are we just is that just being friends? Like, she thinks we're unorganized.
I
Pass me
mean,
the level.
Sean's organized.
no.
Actually,
What,
you're pretty organized
yeah.
too.
what if like I throw you the level and then nonchalantly you catch it? Sam's just over here like I can't take it anymore.
or I
I'm in
don't
love with
catch
them.
it. So I don't lose anything because it's apparently not a win for me. It's
and
But if you don't
planned,
catch it, it's a lose.
but he planned not to
I
catch
plan
it.
not to catch it. So it was one.
That's not how that works.
So
Yeah.
you just get hit in the side of the head with the level. You're like,
Like, I
what's
planned-
up, girl?
That was part of the plan. That was part of the plan.
It was like, oh, dude. That's fair. No, I feel
about you?
that. I feel that. Mine is actually a girl who is really like hands-on. Like if she has really good hands-on skills. So like she knows how to like fix things or like do stuff with her
Okay.
car, stuff like that. Where I'm
Okay.
like, oh,
Like
that's,
capable.
yeah, it's like really attractive.
Okay.
Like, it's just like she has like, I don't know,
I
maybe
feel like hands-on was not the way
Yeah,
to
I
describe
was like,
that. I had to like,
hands-on.
Wait, but
It's giving
isn't that-
physical touch.
like
that,
handy. I think is. Oh well, that's just we're doubling down.
Don't do that.
No.
Don't do that.
but like that's how you describe it. Like, oh, Sean's a very hands-on kind of guy.
Okay, that makes sense. That
Right?
makes
Like,
sense.
like,
Yeah.
like, why would that be different if it's like,
I just heard hands on. You're like I like when the girl has hands on.
Yeah.
And I'm
I think
just like,
handy is better.
handy. I think yeah.
handy and hands-on. Like she takes
Yeah.
a forward approach, but she's also like very handy. Where it's like, because
Okay.
I've yet to really experience a lot of those, but when they have like those leash little things where they're like, oh yeah, like, I know how to do something. I'm like, whoa, would you learn that? Could be a body, but also could be really good.
What's that meme where it's like girls talking about guys who have experiences and it's like, oh, like someone cooked here.
Oh yeah,
Wait,
that's
what?
a trend also.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
That
a trend
one.
also. Where like, if a guy exudes some sort of trait that you know when people say like written by a woman,
Yeah.
something like that, where like they're exuding some sort of trait that you know a girl trained him to do that. That's someone has cooked here.
Oh.
Yeah.
So like he suddenly is like the type that like fluffs the pillows on the couch. Someone's cooked here, you know? Like he didn't just grow up doing that. Somebody came in and trained a little and then happened to leave or something, which is why you're now there.
Right.
But someone has cooked in this vicinity.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see. It's like the house was renovated. And
Yes,
now I bought the
exactly,
house.
exactly. Yes.
Someone did some work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
I see.
Exactly.
I see. Oh, okay. I never seen that one, but
Yeah.
Is there a time when a guy has not been cooked?
Oh.
Yeah.
There are
for
some
sure.
wrong
I feel like it comes out in like style, hygiene, and then like
behavior.
behavior. Also like
routine.
restaurant preferences. I find is
Oh,
like
yeah.
one thing because a lot of girls are like, oh, we're gonna eat here. We're gonna do all these like more fine dining, and you know, a man's man might be like, we're going to the keg.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
okay,
true.
Yeah, that's true. There's some guys who like don't learn from their previous relationship or don't take anything on. That's just crazy to me because like that's like the whole point. Like not the whole point, but like a portion of dating. Like you like level up.
Yeah.
You like learn
Yes.
something. You take something as an experience. You go from there, right? And I think as you do, and anything in life, you do more. You become a better person.
Can you
It's
think
crazy.
off the top of your head what you've like leveled up from being in your previous relationships?
The best.
I thought you were gonna ask what other people gained from dating you.
No,
and I'm
I
like,
wasn't.
honestly, nothing.
I don't know.
There's not a lot.
Anything. I'm sure there is something. I just can't think off the top of my head. Like if we're thinking about
Like, anything
the
you
way we're
do-
written by the women stuff.
Do in your day-to-day life now that you do because there was some sort of like influence from people you've dated or talked to before, female.
I would say not dated, but my friends.
Okay.
Because like I would say I was like one of those guys who had like a little bit more like female friends. So I would go to them and be like write me.
Write me.
Write me.
Cook me up.
Hook me up. It's like learning about like skincare and like
Okay.
all that stuff. Never dated them, but like it was one of my friends that taught me that, and that did help. Where they're like, "Why do you have all this stuff?" I'm like, "Well, you
So
know."
someone still has cooked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they cook, but like it was like my mom cooked for me.
They didn't feed you.
They didn't
They
feed you.
cooked.
They cooked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
They
little
left it
stuff
on the
like that.
stove,
Yeah,
or they left it in the
they were
fridge. They
like-
told you to heat it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little sticky note, like leave
Yeah.
it for 1 minute, let it rest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all that stuff, but I always say a lot of stuff came naturally for me. Where I was like if we're talking like based on some like style, restaurant preferences, but like even eyebrows. Like I just like one day one of my female friends were like, yeah, guys with nice eyebrows is good. I'm like, write that down. You should
Eyebrows.
get some nice eyebrows now. You know, like
Yeah.
so yeah. But never, at least to my knowledge, as of right now, where I got cooked and reserved better. So I don't know.
Ivan, the leftovers.
Yeah, he's just remained shitty the entire time.
This will work well with my last name as being Ivanhoe. It was like leftover hoe.
Oh my
That'd
god.
be so bad. What about you though? Like, because you've been in like a long-term relationship for so long. So like, do you have anything that was?
I don't know. There's certain things that I found like same thing, like style, cooking. I work in industry, so like restaurants, things. Skincare, yeah, is one thing. It's like, hey, you look like you're gonna wrinkle. Let me get you something.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, buys me something from Sephora, and I'm like, oh, this is nice. This feels good. And I'm just like, yeah, I could fit this into my routine. This is
Yeah.
making me better.
Yeah. You're like, oh, I like this. Yeah. Or like, I like the way I feel with this level up.
You're
this
like,
new
I
skill.
feel pretty today.
Yeah.
Wait, I know some for you.
For me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
I feel like one, you're a lot more
Oh no.
considerate of like
In general.
of like people's time.
Oh.
I think that is a big thing, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I would hope that I would get there, but I think I got there faster
You
because
did,
of it.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I would say your second thing is like updating or like checking in.
That's true.
Ooh.
I
Yeah.
do live in my own world, and
Yeah.
my own world is
Could
vast.
be hours and hours and hours of silence.
I'm just like,
But now he's like, this is what I ate.
I
Or he'll like call.
no,
you know?
it's not even close to that good. It's not like, oh, this is what I ate.
It's just a photo.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
No,
You stopped sending those to me, actually.
it was like a trained thing where I was like, okay, I need to like communicate more. I have my busy work day.
Uh-huh.
I work nights. My partner works days. So one of the ways that I kind of fixed that is every time I had a meal at work, I took a picture of the meal and sent it. And I was like, oh, this is my reminder to myself to like make some conversation through the day.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to like just like make sure it was a little bit more routine.
That's nice. Like, yeah. Like,
It's like, hey, I'm thinking of
I'm
you.
thinking
Yes.
of you. Yeah. No, that counts. That counts. Even if it's like,
But then you started
Yeah.
sending it to like other people. like Sean and I have never messaged. Well, okay. The only time we would message is if he was asking me like a size for his girlfriend in like something that he was buying. Anyways, we suddenly become friends like out of nowhere, whatever.
After years of being like around each other.
Yeah, of years he was always just my friend's boyfriend. Like that's how I viewed, and I feel like you viewed me as my girlfriend's friend, but we were in the same friend group for years, like 4 years, and we were just like indifferent towards each other. I didn't feel anything, but whatever.
It was a strong indifference.
Indifference.
We're both like could not be fucked.
Could not be fucked. Like if he was in the room, I'm like, hey, whatever. Like we would never make an effort to speak to each other, but we wouldn't like ignore each other. We weren't mean to each other. Well,
I think we were mean to each other, kind of like just like as a funny thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
No one was taking it personally. Nobody was trying to be closer with each other.
No one.
And then, like, randomly in COVID, when we were having, like, our safe six, suddenly we're like, okay, fine. Like, we need to, like, get a little more tight with our friend group. And obviously, because my best friend is dating him, that just kind of, like, conjoined us into this little group. And so we were having a bunch of more, like, smaller, intimate hangouts. And that's when me and Sean actually started talking for the first time.
And you guys have a lot in common.
We have a lot in common.
So much in common.
I still deny this to no end.
You deny it because you know it's true, and I don't like it either. Okay, I don't like it either. I don't enjoy it. But anyways, whatever. Now we consider each other friends.
That took a lot for you to say.
It really did. It really did. Friends. Where was I going with that? And then so then, you know, like every once in a while, Sean would message me being like, hey, we're doing like a little cocktail night or whatever, like come, which was also weird because normally I get the invite through my friend.
It wasn't that, hey, we're doing a cocktail night, you should come. It was like, hey, you have a big house.
Yeah, that's
I need a place to hold my cocktail party.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of these drinks, and then I'd be like, okay, I'm free for you to come do that in my kitchen on this day.
And that's also safe six, so it's like you can't just go other places.
Yes, there was limited time.
I was gonna say it was a safe. It was like you had to have gotten the ticket in the first run, and that guaranteed you for the rest of the runs because that was your safe six.
And
Bonnie Henry told me I couldn't hang out with anyone except for Sam and like 4 other people.
Yes, yeah, we were forced into confinement.
Government
mandated to be friends for the last like 2.5 years of COVID.
Yeah.
Anyways, so it was already weird for me to start like receiving messages from Sean in the first place. Because I was like, if you scroll up, it's literally once a year. Like it's once a year that he's like,
Sam.
And that's another reason where I'm like, how do you not know what her size is at this point? Because like if you just scrolled one little like scroll up, you would see me answer. Anyway, it's not important. And then alongside him suddenly like messaging me, he would send me a picture of what he's eating. Or like randomly one time he sent me a picture of a bag of lemons. And I was like, what what? No context.
The bag of lemons signifies I got fresh citrus. We're making drinks.
How would I have known? I'm not a bartender. I don't
I would have never
even I just left it on red. I was like, what the hell is this?
The bag of lemons, like you just sending an ominous picture. That's how,
he's on the SkyTrain. He's taking a bag. Like I literally was like, "What the hell is going on?"
That's like how our parents text. It's like they send you a picture like, "I got lemons at home." like
he's trying to like code me, except we don't know each other. Like
the bag of lemons is someone is about to cook. That's what it is.
I would have been like, "Oh, nice, you got lemons." I'm like, life gives you the lemons.
No, I literally looked at it and I was like, that must have been an accidental send to me because there's no words. There was no words. It was just
full intentional
lemons.
It was a test.
I didn't say anything.
And you failed.
And it was over.
And here we are.
And here we are. Now we're making a podcast together. So, you know, we've come a long way from not even saying hi to each other.
That's true. It's weird too. Like, I feel like you were like, Sam's like my best girlfriend. And you're like my best guy friend. Like, I've known Sean since grade 2.
We've had so much crossover.
How was this like never happen where like I'm just like in the guy in the middle? I'm like, how do you guys just not be friends after this?
Yeah, it's been you in the middle and then his girlfriend in the middle. And we've just avoided at all costs. Like, we will hang out together. They will hang out together. They obviously hang out together. And then me and your girlfriend will hang out together. And it's just, like, never once where we're like, you know what, we should no.
I almost made it out, too. I got suckered in.
Pandemic.
If it wasn't for that darn COVID. I was thinking this whole time, like, is there written by a boy? Which sounds weird because that sounds like a
that's just a boy.
Book.
That's just
like,
a boy.
That sounds like Captain Underpants the book.
Clifford the big red boy.
Yeah, like what is written by
Yeah, actually, written by a man is probably a thing. Like
written by a man has to be.
Maybe it's like the this could be heavily sexist, but like it's like, oh, they have like certain like sports skills. It's like, oh, someone probably like showed them that maybe.
Damn.
If they didn't grow up with it, then it's like,
yeah.
You know,
if she didn't was like a tomboy, like did have brothers, also used to like a perfect spar with the football. I'd be
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I think that's kind of crazy.
Or like I would say, and this is more like stereotypical too, like maybe someone who like feels they can't like be emotional. Like that's more like I would say written by a woman is someone who's like okay with like talking about their emotions. Written by a man is someone who feels that they need to like uphold a certain image.
Okay.
That's
yeah,
fair.
in order to, and
that.
like that involves not speaking about their emotions or like not showing like a certain amount of vulnerability.
Written by a man sucks.
Well, I think it's
not a
sad.
bestseller.
It's just sad.
It's just
I
sad.
think
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
like unfortunate that there's like so many guys out there that feel that they can't do that.
Yeah. And it's like why? Like that's the honestly. There's so many times where like I think a lot of guys are bottlers because of that, and it's like there's so many times where you feel so much better when you let out. Which I say every guy should have a good female friend to start. Cause
that's true.
Literally, at least for me, my perspective was at least having that where you're like, I can't talk to my guy friends. They'll think I'm XYZ. At least if you have a good like homie girl, just let it out, and it feels so good.
Yeah. Like, I actually think it's more of a green flag when I'm starting to, like, date a new guy if they have female friends. Because I'm like, okay, at least I know they have some sort of, like, female perspective in their life and they have, like, an outlet, hopefully. And that's obviously, like, dependent on what their relationship actually looks like. There's, like, I've dated people who have had pretty, like, sus relationships with their girlfriends, and that's obviously not cool. But blanket statement, I think it's more of a green flag if, like, you have female figures in your life, for me anyway.
I think that makes a lot of sense. Just having an outside perspective, and it's not just like a room filled with testosterone.
Exactly. And then I come in with like a completely different energy, and then I'm trying to explain this to you versus like you. Same thing with like having sisters.
I was gonna say, like,
Dude, that hits.
Like, can you tell when a guy has a sister?
Yeah, you can usually tell. I've also like had a lot of conversations. Like they'll talk about it, and then it'll kind of like lead into how they view pursuing women, or like usually like one of the previous people I've dated were pretty open about the fact that they don't really believe in like hookup culture, because they just like they would never want to envision like their sisters doing that, or like guys doing that to their sisters. And I just like find that so like endearing, because I'm like, oh, wonderful. Like we just have to, like, it's not something that's like a must have for me, but it is a green flag when I see that. And then I think there's just like a more like a higher level of like empathy towards the opposite sex, which like is hard to do. Like if you're not a girl, like it's hard to like understand that, and if I'm not a boy, it's hard to understand being a boy. But like to have someone that you really care about that's like not your partner who's like the opposite sex, you can just kind of like put yourself in those shoes like more easily.
Yeah.
And then I feel like it's less of a burden on my end to like educate you or like explain it to you, because you just kind of already get it.
Yeah, you're not starting from scratch.
Yeah. I think too, like, if you especially have an older sister, like I think a lot of our guys in our friend group, we have older sisters, like they just kind of like
whip you in the shit.
Yeah, they kind of let you know at least a little bit.
Yeah.
Or they kind of give a little bit, and then you're like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But I feel like the reverse is like if you have a younger sister, you know, you're like, I don't want that to happen to my younger sister. I would not want that to happen to my girl. But it's a pro. It's a pro for sure.
I agree. What's like another like how do I want to phrase this? Like another thing that I guess would be like a green flag that doesn't like directly relate to them. Like if they like similar to like they have a sister, or they have like a girl best friend. That's like a.
I think if you, this is maybe not as related, but like if you've traveled, if you've like seen the world, if you can go, because that's like widening perspective, and you see that you're like kind of in your little corner in the world, and you see like the outside world views, and you get to appreciate different ways of living. I think that is a green flag. I think that says like, oh, this person is a little bit more well versed, and they have a better understanding of where they are in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree. Like traveling, and even alongside that, like someone who's like has their own like connection of friend group, like their own like friend group or their own like space. Like to me, that says a lot about them being like an open person, or like like having their own community. It ties into like being open minded, because they're like you know, when you can network and connect with other people, or just have a group of friends that like are there. It doesn't have to be big. It's just like you have your own group and you have your own space, it says a lot about you to me. Yeah.
Same with like interests or like hobbies.
Hobbies. I was thinking the same
Hobbies
thing.
hit.
Yeah.
And I have found, and maybe it's just like the type of guys that I've been talking to, but like it's like been pretty rare for me to find someone who has hobbies that aren't just like go to the gym, which is like a fair hobby. That's fine. But like, there's nothing else. There's not like, because I would also identify as someone who has like a lot of different things that they like, and kind of to a fault, like I'll like get really invested in something and then kind of fall out of it and keep jumping. But I find it like an extra green flag if I like meet someone that just has like a bunch of things that they like to do.
Is there a cap? Because I saw this one TikTok where this girl was talking about like, oh, hobbies are good, but if they have too many hobbies, it's kind of a bad thing because that's all they are. They have like no personality because all they are their hobbies because that's like they're like stretched that way. So is there like a cap, or does that apply to you?
I don't know if those are like mutually exclusive. Like if you have a lot of hobbies, does that suddenly mean that you don't have like a personality?
Like they all only talk about like their personality, like their hobbies. Sorry.
Oh, that's fair. Actually, I went on a date semi-recently with someone who that actually applies to. Like all of their like conversation had to do with their hobbies, and it was like because they were so passionate about these things, they were like less interested in like asking questions about like to like get to know each other, I guess. Like it was more so like, oh, I really want to talk about these like topics versus exchanging like information about each other, which I found interesting. And like I'm the type of person who really likes to exchange information, so I think that's just like a preference thing. Okay. But I have actually seen that, and like my perception of that person would be that they have like maybe like less of a personality, in my opinion, like in what I consider like a deep, I guess, like personality with depth. Like that's what I would consider. So yeah, I kind of get what they're saying.
I guess it also depends on how far they're taking these hobbies.
True.
Like if they're like full into so many things, you only have so many hours of the day, right? So if that's everything to you, then I can understand. But I wouldn't say it's no personality. I would say I'd like phrase it like a little bit differently because like they are finding things that they like appreciate and like, but they're just putting everything into these things, so maybe there's less they can give to like other things. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel that. It's like they're just putting their energy in things they love. Yeah. This is it, that they're not even thinking about anything else, which is fair. It's kind of passionate, I guess.
I think with like the couple of people I know who are like this, what I've noticed is because they have so many external things to do, there's less internal like reflection or like thinking. And so like everything that they think and like do and whatever has to do with like things outside of their brain. And so having conversations about like what they're feeling or like thinking or like whatever, unpacking, whatever. And that's not for everyone, but I've noticed that that's just like not as prevalent because they have so many other things to preoccupy themselves with.
Yeah, I agree.
Whereas like the opposite, if you have nothing to do, then you're just like all up in there, or you're like all up in somebody else's grill or whatever, and then it's just like that's not good.
You're there like dwelling in your
They're
own
a prisoner of their own mind,
Exactly.
and now they just have someone to tell about. Like
or they latch on to whoever they're like speaking to or whatever because they have nothing else to do, and that's also not.
It's like you are the one outlet I have in my life. You are like put on like a pedestal, and now it's like praising that person to like a fault.
I've definitely dated people like that. And I feel like that when I feel that somebody is putting me on a pedestal, that like inherently makes me look down on them because you have now placed me above you. And then that subconsciously makes me think like, oh, why am I dating down then? But I didn't put you there. You just put me too high.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, wait a second. That means I'm dating down then. Like, why am I dating down?
This is it?
Dating down is a weird concept. I've never in my life thought to like a point where I've been dating up or down. I don't know. I find that such an alien concept to me.
My way of like describing dating down level or up is if I can bring like a like what I would consider like a fundamental quality to the relationship and you can't, then I'm dating down. And if I want something that is like like a quality that I don't possess, then I'm intending to date up, which I don't really think is like fair. Like I don't think that's like.
But that's also hard to say because then you're saying like the one specific quality where like a relationship is so many different qualities and they're
like
meshing
standards.
together.
It's like if you have like a laundry list of like non-negotiables.
Okay.
And you can't meet them, then you're asking for someone above you that you can't even like fulfill. And then the same thing with if you have like a lower standard for whoever you're dating, but you can actually bring all of these qualities that you're not like that like for me, for example, like I will get in my head about the fact that like I want like a certain level of like communication or a certain level of like whatever, and then I think, oh, I'm asking for too much. But if I really think about it, I can do all those things, or I know my friends could do all those things or whatever. And so like I'm psyching myself out to think that I deserve or like should be going for someone at like a lower level, even though I know it's possible to give you that because I can bring it.
So it's like an expectation base.
I guess so.
I think it's also like having like your wants and needs, I guess.
Yeah,
and
for
like
sure.
like if you're like, hey, I need to have a partner who can like express themselves, communicate in that manner because I can.
Yeah.
Then I think that's like dating like the same level.
Exactly.
And
That's dating the
that.
same level.
Yeah.
I think those are valid standards.
Yeah,
That's
those are just standards.
versus where if you're asking for something that you can't even bring, your standards are too high, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
Or like unfair, I guess.
I don't know, and like for you guys too, like at least for me, like if I'm gonna date someone, I kind of want someone who matches or can bring something like teach me things, or like we can like talk and intellectually build or skill. Like it doesn't, like everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses, and that's totally fair. But it's one of those things where you're feeling like you're intellectually or like skillfully or whatever pushed in a way for yourself and for others, versus like, oh, I have to like. They might not be asked for, but like because they're my partner, I'm inclined to want to help them and like push them to be more. Like you don't get anything back, and you're just like, okay, well, I'm pushing you, but I'm not getting anything else because it feels like you're just kind of trying to come to my level in a way.
Yeah.
So I feel that.
Yeah.
I relate.
And I feel like relationships where you always bring different qualities in, but I think when it comes to like your mandatories, like what you put out there to be like, I'm looking for these traits or whatever, it's very hard to say you want these things and then not have them yourself, or ask for things that are like way below what you can offer. Then you're just like creating these gaps.
100%.
Yeah.
No, I agree. What are your like wants and needs? What are you guys' wants and needs?
Non-negotiables.
Like your non-negotiables.
Non-negotiables.
And we gotta before I didn't mean to interrupt, but like okay, we're like the loyalty thing and like the very bare minimums.
Yeah.
Don't count those because that's too obvious. That's very
obvious.
like
okay.
I want someone who's
like specific
loyal.
to you.
Yeah, like someone who
Yes.
like I think everyone wants somewhat like communication and
Like for me,
Cleanliness.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good one.
Cleanliness.
Yeah. Backstory
Same
is
one.
Sean and I are like both quite OCD about certain things specific to our house and our cleanliness, and it has it's proven to be like on another level compared to a lot of people. Yeah.
What else is there? There's like a certain standard of like conversation and like banter that it's like if you can't hold like a room, a conversation, like it's like it feels like pulling teeth. It's like what am I trying to get out of you? Like just be you, be funny.
Like, I'm
You're
trying to
here.
resuscitate this conversation.
To build on that, I feel like it's not enough for me to just like have a conversation. I need it to have like a level of depth. Like we can't just like I can't do the like, look at that tree over there.
I don't want the frosting. I want the whole cake.
Exactly. Like I can't do small talk. I can do small talk to get to know somebody, but if that's like our standard conversation every day, and like that's again like I think there's a balance. Like you're not constantly like going in with every conversation, but I just
meaning
want
of life.
Yeah, like I just want there to be some like
There's some times, there's some times in the day where you're like, what do you think of that tree over there? Right? Like, low energy levels.
Totally. Like as long as you can dip and come back, like that's what I want. Like I want some like variable.
That just sounds like any semi-interesting person.
For sure. But like you would not believe how many people out there think that like that's conversation, like good conversation. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah,
Worst pickup line.
I've
Look at this tree.
And that's it.
I think we've all been in it where like you're with someone, you're like,
Like, damn, this is a chore to be having a conversation.
I'm just like, you know, you hate me. That's cool. I'm gonna leave now.
Yes.
That's it. That's probably.
But like, there are probably people who find that genuinely interesting.
Yeah, I guess.
Like,
that's crazy though, because I can't talk like. You see that same tree over there?
I know. I'm still thinking about the tree.
Yeah.
I'm still about the tree. Yeah. No, that's fair. That's a good one.
Yes.
That's a good one. I like. Mine would be like, I like someone who, like, is fixated on wanting more for themselves.
Oh yeah.
It's something
without you needing to like
yes.
provoke them to do that.
Yeah,
I think is a big thing.
They're just like constantly seeking like higher learning or higher like health for themselves and everything. I'm like, that's so attractive and like that's nice because that means like you're doing your thing. Because I'm a very like I'm gonna do my thing kind of person. So that the fact that you got that, I'm like
like you can continue to gain skills throughout your life.
Yes.
Whether that's like, oh, I want to be fit, or I want to learn how to cook, or I want to be more invested in my job or my hobby or anything, but just it has to show, because I think that's like the telltale sign, especially if you're starting to date someone and they're heavy plateauing. It's not a great sign in terms of you looking to build a relationship together.
For sure.
And I get like sometimes in life you like plateau a little bit, like you're like just that, but like it's still like you have this drive. And I guess there's a better word for it, drive. Like drive is attractive.
And just like, I don't know, curiosity and like interest to be a better version of yourself. Like I have never really understood when people don't have that, because I feel like it's like so prevalent in my life and a lot of the people I know's life and like my family and all of that kind of thing. So I'm just like, how do you not just want it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, there's lots of different types of people out there.
Teach their own, you know?
Yeah.
And like, you know, I feel like for me, like I think I would cut my draw off maybe if I was like 60. And I'm like, I'm retired, I'm there, I'm like, I want to coast for the next like 30 years and just chill because I did it. But like right now, I'm sprinting. And you better run. You better be good at running.
Dude, At 60 years old, I'm just like, look at that tree. That's a nice tree. That's when we can appreciate it.
At that point, you should know every single thing about each other.
Is that
totally
birch?
Fair.
I don't know.
Is that a palm tree? We were so driven. That we found the seeds ourselves.
Trees.
I was so busy looking at the forest, I forgot about the leaves.
I don't know if that's a real saying.
No, that's from Vagabond.
You forgot about the leaves?
No, it's
really?
It's like it's like a. Sorry, this is really nerdy.
No, you go ahead.
It's from like a manga anime thing that I read, but it's very philosophical, and it's like one of the greatest. But it's pretty much like when you're so focused on looking at the leaves, you forget about the tree. And when you're so focused about the tree, you forget about the forest.
Okay.
And it's that like that.
So it's like seeing like the bigger picture.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Okay, I like it.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Damn.
Another one for me, very specific to me. Well, actually, no. It's grand scheme, which I think is like applies to a lot of people, is like family orientation. Ooh. But then I'll take it even a step further. Backstory: my brother has special needs. He has Down syndrome, and it's always been like, and I'm his only sibling. It's always been known that I will eventually take care of him when my parents can't, and so that like adds an extra layer of whoever I'm dating. Obviously, that will like. Affect them as well. So whoever is like willing and like has like a good connection with him is like already like a number one thing. Like good with my brother is what I always say. And then the willingness to then take that connection even further and be like, okay, like he will be part of our family. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, I get it. And especially because like your brother's he's part of your life. Like
exactly.
That's
like
he's forever part of your life. So it's like it's pretty equivalent to being like good with your parents. Like if he's good with like my parents or something like that, that's a blast.
Totally. Or even just like selfless in general. Like if they're willing to extend past themselves for other people, that's always a good sign.
Yeah. And like that's a big thing to put on somebody else. Like it's already a big thing to put on me, let alone someone who's not like related or like hasn't grown up with him or whatever. So it's usually a conversation I have pretty early on of just like, this is a situation, not like you will have to kick it. Like
I was gonna ask, like, how do you bust it out? Be like,
like it's usually in a similar way of this, of like, oh, like what are your like non-negotiables for dating, or like what's something that you want in your relationship or whatever, and then I will bring up the topic of my brother, and it's more so in the sense of like this is my reality, and like whether or not you want to be in that is like your own prerogative, but like it's my reality, like it's not changing. So yeah,
that's fair. Have you met anyone that like had the similar situation with you, where they're like, "Oh, this is my brother"? It's like, I have a sister.
I have not like a romantic connection.
Okay.
Like I've met like a mutual friend who has had the same thing, and it was actually like a crazy conversation because I don't think I've ever had that conversation, and like it was so interesting to like hear his perspective of like feeling a lot of pressure because you're basically like signing up for a kid you didn't have basically, and you've grown up knowing that your whole life, so it's not like you knew anything different, but then you also like as you get older you realize that like that's not very typical, like it's not normal across people that you know and your friends or whatever, so you start to realize that there's like this added pressure that nobody else has or like not a lot of other people have. And so talking to him was like really interesting because he was just like, oh yeah, like I you know, it's someone who's there who's like not your child but is like kind of your child, and it's also really hard to like connect with them, so it's like a very different responsibility. It's not like you had a child and you have like such a bond and you're like best friends or like anything like that. It's like slightly different because like there's like a different level of like cognitive ability and like all this kind of stuff, so it's different. And then we were kind of talking about, I think he was saying like he is also the only sibling of his disabled sister, and so it's very like isolating, like you're going through your like waves of your family or like things happening and you can't like talk to them about it. And so I always say like I resonate with people who are only children the same way I resonate with people who have a sibling or have siblings, and I also resonate with people who are the older sibling even though I'm technically the younger sibling because I obviously feel older than my brother Austin, but then I'm also like the baby of the family. But also not. It's kind of like just a weird. It's really weird, where I'm like, I kind of get that, but I kind of get your situation too. It's just like you get it all.
That's crazy. Honestly, I can like, like I can't really imagine it because I have never obviously not that, but like that's actually that would be an attractive quality to me. Honestly, if someone can like have that level of thinking and like understand all that, I'd be like, props to you, man. That'd be cool.
Well-rounded.
What would be like a red flag then, like just in general for things, like I'll say one. It is weird. It's like I want to say non-niche ones.
Okay.
Multiple alarms.
Why is multiple alarms?
You don't have multiple
Why
alarms?
is that a red flag?
Okay, like I can let some go where you're like, I have one for waking up. I have one for maybe like afternoon nap. I've been with people where it's like 7:03, 7:05, 7:07, 7:10.
Like,
I'm like,
do you mean like setting it, or do you mean like people who just have the roster of
it's the whole
Can I show you my phone?
Oh my god. No, it's like when they have the whole roster but it's like I get if you have maybe like 4 or 5 alarms that have meaning. Like I wake up at 9:30, then take a nap at like 3:30.
Okay.
Whatever, right?
Okay.
Because that's at least, I don't know, that's just me because I'm like, I wake up at one time. I don't get when you have alarms 2 to 3 minutes apart. Like snooze is 5 minutes. So how does
okay, let me get to the bottom of this. Let me get.
Bro, I'm gonna yeet your phone.
You're gonna get so mad. I'll show you and then I'll show the camera.
What is that? You have one for the whole 24 hours of a day.
Okay, the one thing that bugs me is I saw an odd number that wasn't a 5. Was that like a 17?
Oh, for sure, I'll do that.
See,
10, 17?
No, my alarms are even numbers. It's like the TV volume, even numbers.
Even or 5?
Wait, let me see that.
No, I will do like obscure numbers.
See, it's like...
Because for me, like, I'm like, oh...
31. That is a...
Bro,
PM? Did I say PM?
Yes!
Hate crime.
What are you doing that needs that extra minute? Like, I don't... Like, that is...
Hate crime.
No, that's not okay. And, okay, I am someone who has a lot of alarms as well.
Okay, the reason for that is because if I... Like, for example, let's say I have to be out the house by 9:15. I'll set one for 9 and 9:07 because that's just enough where I could get my shit together to leave by 9. Okay, yours are even.
I can
so
respect
his are like OCD vibes. Mine are like mine are maximizing every last minute that I could possibly get of sleep.
I feel like I can explain every single alarm on here,
I can
right?
explain my day.
I'll tell you right now, you ain't feeling any better from 8:48 to 8:51 if you ain't waking up.
That actually hurts.
No, the thing is, I won't set them like that. Like, I won't be like 8:45, 8:48, 8:51. It's dependent on whatever activity I have and when I need to be like ready to go is what I'll choose here. So like if I know I need to order my Uber by like 9:05, then I know that I'll set one for like 8:15, and I know the latest I could possibly go is 8:48. Like that's how I use my alarms.
48?
I
know. No.
I was gonna show you my phone, but it's
recording.
It's recording,
Yeah.
but like it's four alarms.
I can justify all my alarms, right? So everyone has like a 9 to 5. So you're talking about we wake up on the same
What do you mean everyone has a
schedule.
9 to 5?
Not everyone has a 9 to 5, but you're talking about like in a 9
most
to
of them
5
have
schedule.
yeah.
You wake up the same time, you get ready, it takes the same amount to get to work. Sometimes I start in my work week at 7 a.m. and sometimes I start my work at 6 p.m. So I don't have any sort of like sleeping rhythm. So I also have an app because I'm like a deep sleeper. I've slept through like fire alarms, slept through like other things.
Let's
like,
talk about your alarms.
My alarm is this one specific app where it has different functions. So one function is I need to vigorously shake my phone, and you can choose the level. So if I'm on level 3, I'm like shaking my phone vigorously for like 30 seconds to wake up.
A long
to wake
I'd be
up.
so mad
Yes.
if I was your girlfriend. I'd be like,
Oh, she's mad.
Oh yeah, no. And
I
my
would
alarm
rather be your alarm.
And
And
then-
shake you vigorously.
So I changed it. So now what I use is I have to tap my phone enough times. And I developed a technique here. It's optimal tapping. If I try to do 3, it slows it down. 2 is perfect, right? So then there's the tapping, right? And then there's one that gives you like math equations that are pretty simple. So you wake up, you're like, oh, like, yeah. And then the most chaotic is the screaming function. So I have to yell at my phone until it turns off. And the most chaotic is the random function.
Where was the witch cackle in that?
So I have a hard time waking up. So I set my alarm to be weird, messed up things that are jarring that you would never want to wake up to, because I need the confidence that I'm getting out of bed. So you know how most people, they have like one alarm and then they like snooze it depending on how they feel.
Yeah.
I don't. I have 5-minute intervals 3 times to wake up.
Okay.
And based on if I can wake up and turn one off and then turn the rest off, that's that. But if I have the strength only to like yell at my phone until it turns off and then I fall back asleep, I can count on the other ones.
So you have to be strong enough to deactivate the first one and then manually turn off the other ones?
Yes.
Or else they'll just go?
Yes.
You're a serial killer. Crazy.
So at
That
the
is
same
crazy.
time that I sleep sometimes in the week is okay, maybe not that extreme, but like within like a crazy range. Like if I have to wake up at 7 or go to work at 7, then I wake up at like maybe like 5:30. And then other days, if I work at 6, I get off work at like 2 or 3. I eat, it's 4. So imagine every week having your entire schedule of what the day is flip. Because like I get my 8 hours of sleep, or like 7 hours, or 6-5 if I'm like on a if I'm going out or something. But I my body doesn't know what day is. Mm-hmm. It just like it's such a foreign concept, and I've been operating this way for like probably like 6 years. Yeah. So jet lag does not affect me. That's my superpower, because I never know what day and night is.
Does that not like make you just like start your day off on the wrong foot to be like doing jarring activities the moment you wake up?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like just like I have to do it, because like if not for this system that I've perfected over years with multiple different alarm apps and jarring ringtones that wake me up, like I'm like I feel confidence in this, and this works for me. And it's not like I've been doing it for a small amount of time. This is my normal for like more than half a decade.
I can get this down. Like the song. For y'all viewers, you need to hear what kind of music this man plays. First of all, it is. I don't know how to describe it. It is like not what you want to wake up to. But I have a question, and it's like the math one gets to me, because when I wake up, I got 2 brain cells, maybe 2.5 at best. What level of math is it? Like, what is 4 plus 5, or is it like derivative of X. Like,
No. We are not solving for X. There's no letters in this. It's usually just like addition, multiplication, division, and there might be 2 steps, or it might be like
2 steps.
Find the remainder.
Show your work.
Show your work.
It's
so upset.
It's bed
Long
mass in bed.
division.
It's bed mass in bed.
Brackets?
Yeah, there's
and
brackets
exponents?
sometimes. There's brackets in order of operations is as hard as it goes.
Yo.
But like I wake up and I'm like, sometimes I'm looking at it and I'm like, I
That's all.
don't know what this is. And the alarm is only bringing more pressure to the situation. Yeah. My partner, like, I have a small window before the songs that I choose as my ringtone really amp up to absolutely crazy. Yeah. And I'm like sweating. I'm like, can I call a friend? Can I get a 50-50?
Can you Google it?
Like, I need help.
Do you know what 17 divided
But I don't see those because the random function was way too chaotic when I was still living at home.
Yeah.
There was one day where I had to wake up and it was like a weird hour and I'm just there yelling in the basement. and my mom comes out. She's like, are you okay? Like, what's happening? Like, is there something wrong? And I'm like, nah, I gotta wake up. And then I was like, random function, no more. Yeah. Random function, no more.
Sorry.
No, you go.
No, I was gonna ask, which one what's your default one then?
Default is the tap.
The tap.
I've developed this technique. It's so strong.
It's pretty good.
And you wake up.
I'm too good at the technique. I can do it in my sleep. I'm just like Yeah, so like I'd like a little bit more variety. The shake was probably my favorite.
Okay.
But the shake is also very disruptive.
Very disruptive.
To my
I was saying like it. Okay.
Sorry, I'm just like.
No, we don't need to keep doing it.
Imagine trying to sleep.
Oh no.
And then the bed is shaking and a witch is cackling and this is like 5 a.m.
Do you shake in the bed? Like you're laying there, you're like, oh shit. Like,
oh yeah.
I would get up.
No.
What I'll do, I'll like put it off to the side and I'll just like, or if I'm like trying to like muffle, if I have a really chaotic ringtone, I'll try to like put it under my pillow and then like cover it and I'm just like do.
That's
even more
like her head is just like
she's like, what's happening?
I'm just like hitting her in the head the whole time.
I was saying it's lucky that Sean only has to wake up before his partner once a week. But it's the worst day of the week.
Monday.
It's Monday.
Yeah.
It's Monday.
It's Monday. Yeah.
And Monday is usually my Friday. So I'm waking up, I'm like ready to go. And I'm just like looking over. I'm like, hey, I'm going to go to work now.
Just couldn't be fucked. Yeah. Hurry.
It's like I've had enough of this.
Okay, because like hearing now, you guys have it preset your times, like, and you like leave it there. Is it crazy that my only preset thing is I have the same amount of alarms, but I change it every day based off of like the need I need to wake up the next day. Because to me,
that seems like too much work.
Say that one more time.
So like if let's say it's like Monday to Friday and I have no plans for whatever reason and I'm just working my 9 to 5, then I'll leave my same 4 alarms the same. Like one for waking up, maybe one for a nap. Actually, yeah, maybe like I might have 2 or 3, but it depends. But like so let's say like I don't know, I have a weird week off and it's like pretty mixed. I'll change my alarm every day based on how I have to wake up the next day.
Yeah, I have that too because my work is at different times. So all the times when you have the changes for, I've like it's just
but he won't add one.
I won't add
just
more.
Change.
I keep it at the
You
same.
change it?
That's what I'm saying.
Same like 4 or 3. I forgot how many I have. Like 4 or 3. So like you have like
refuses to add another
5-minute intervals and you just hit the switch. I will go to the app, click. Oh, today I can sleep in a little bit more. Click. Change the time.
That's crazy.
Save.
No, that's weird to me. That's uncomfortable.
Because then, like, you gotta go back and like change it again. Like, that's too much work.
So it's like,
Do you set multiple alarms to wake up or just one?
I wake up.
I'm just a 1.
I'm a 1. Yeah. I wake up and I wake up.
have 4,000, but I only set 1 unless it's like an obscure time that I have to wake up.
Like 8:51.
48 p.m.
No, it's usually like an a.m., like a 3 a.m., like for a flight. Like something where I don't trust that my natural circadian rhythm is going to like support me in it.
Yeah.
Or like something really important where I'm like, I cannot afford. I used to be really bad where like especially if I was napping, not so much when I was waking up in the morning, but if I took a nap and my alarm went off, I would turn it off in my sleep and not know.
Oh, so I can't do that. That's crazy.
But now I've gotten really good at it.
You just like hear it and you're like,
I'm like, boom, done. Or there's like something weird inside me where I will like, my eyes will open just like a few minutes before it's going to go off.
oh, yeah.
And that pisses me off.
Okay. It's like, do you know, like, it's like when you wake up just before your alarm, does it feel good or bad for you? For me, that feels good.
Like, it feels good, but I'm also like, damn. It depends on how long before.
Like, let's say like
20 minutes?
Oh, 20 minutes.
I'm like,
say,
yo, that's
the
a whole
worst
nap.
one.
Yeah.
It goes 1 minute or 2 minutes before.
All
I'm
good. All good.
crushing
I'm
it.
like, I'm powerful.
20, 30 minutes, I literally shot myself in the foot.
Yes.
Because now it takes another like 10 minutes to fall back into that
And
deep sleep.
when your alarm goes off, you're so much more tired.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the best is like you're supposed to wake up at 9 and you woke up 7, oddly feeling good. You're like, I got 2 more hours? Damn.
Yeah, I religiously wake up at the same time every day. Though.
If I wake up within like 10 minutes before my alarm, I feel so spiteful that I will go back to sleep and sleep past my alarm the same amount of time. But only within the 10 minutes because that's all I can handle, right?
Right.
So I'm like, nope. I am owed this. This is what I am taking today. This is mine.
Are you a deep sleeper?
I'm a
You
deep
must be,
sleeper, yeah.
You light?
I'm late.
I'm super. Okay.
Super late.
Let's talk about this. To the degree. So, alarm, you'll wake up. But before you were trained, would you wake up to an alarm regularly, or did you take time to get used to it?
I used to sleep through regular alarms because eventually on the other alarms I was using, they go off eventually.
Yeah.
That's when I had to amp up how exciting these alarms were. And I'm waking up with passion here. I'm waking up ready to start my day.
Is pumping.
Yeah, that's how I wake up. Like I've looked into, there's like alarm clocks with like wheels that will like they'll be on your. Have you not seen them before?
No.
They're on your night table.
I don't have this issue.
Those are the ads that are targeting
and then
me.
it goes off and it just like wheels off and it's like running around your room. And I'm like that sounds like it will do a really good job and I'll be awake. I'm not sleeping through that.
I would actually be
That's like a
so
different
bad.
level of
That's a different
adult
level.
toys.
That's like you've animated the clock.
Yes.
That's no.
That's like perfect world to me, you know?
Oh my
I just
God.
have to like run out of bed because that's how I know I'm like awake.
It's like shocking that you're in a relationship.
Like it's crazy. If I was a partner, I'd be like, bro.
But I think that's
I'd slap
because
you to wake up
that's
every day.
because I don't have any sort of circadian rhythm,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
need it, right? It's a
Right.
necessity in my life,
That's
essentially.
fair. That's fair. Okay. I would say next tier.
See, I'm not crazy.
People, let's say, as a friend, we're at Airbnb. Would you wake up to people talking in the kitchen if, let's say, the room was?
Like when we were in Italy, there was one night in Tuscany where me and who I was rooming with were like downstairs in our room, and like the common area outside was where Sean and like his friends continued to drink.
Yeah.
And we were just basically waiting until they stopped and went to bed to then go to bed.
Oh, you can't sleep with people making noise.
I could maybe do it like 25% of the time.
I think that was an unfortunate night because that's the night where we had like this 2-liter
So much.
limoncello.
Oh,
And-
2 liters?
And one of us, we lost the cap, right? So
And they were like, well, we have to drink the whole thing.
naturally, the only thing left to do is to make sure you drink all the limoncello.
Did someone lose a cap or did you hide the cap? Is this a laundry machine?
That would be something that I would do, but we genuinely lost it.
Okay.
And then we
Yeah, I
all
couldn't
looked at
find
it.
it
We're
either.
like, there's no other way. We have to buckle down. We have to do this. And all of us were like, it's got to be done. It's got to be done for the greater good.
Does it go bad? Like,
I was about to say.
it's not
I
like
think
wine,
you
is
leave
it? Like,
yeah.
it's just
And if it did, we would have just put it in the fridge with some saran on it. Or
literally.
something, you know?
Yeah.
No, we're just like, and all of us, we understood. We're like, this is the mission.
Luckily, it wasn't one of those nights where they were up until like 6 a.m. Like they still left at like 3, so it wasn't great, but it was still within a reasonable time in my books.
3 is fair.
But yeah, it was. I couldn't go to sleep.
Can't. Okay. I think I've trained. I forget the moment when I gained this skill, but I can sleep when people are talking, like during the living room, whether I'm intoxicated or not. My brain has now separated like friend and foe. So,
Whoa.
but there's an
Foe.
in between line where it's like I will wake up because I don't know. So friends
Like, who's that?
yeah, I can sleep knowing like it's like you guys talking in the living room. I was just like Sean and Sam, I'll sleep. But like, because my house back then got broken into twice, so like I think that's actually maybe that's where it got alerted me. So if I hear weird noises or like I'm like I heard everyone going to sleep, there should be no movement. I'm extra light. But for whatever reason, if I know it's like safe, like oh, is this Sean or Sam or someone just talking in the other room, I can no sleep, no problem.
That's actually true. It also depends on like how tired I am. Like last Halloween, I fell asleep on the couch with everyone still like partying around me, and that was like totally fine. But it depends on like.
I think that was the rum
I was about to
punch.
say,
That's true.
That intoxication because
I was like,
That's
oh.
true.
no alcohol.
That's
like,
true. That's
fresh
true.
no
That's
alcohol.
true.
Yeah.
No, if I'm sober, there's no chance.
Yeah.
But actually, yeah, the break-ins really changes
Changes
everything. Because
you.
I had my house broken into, and like, you both have been to my house. Like, it's like a relatively large, kind of like creaky house. I don't know if you know the creaky part, but dude. So when we first moved into the house, that's when we got broken into. So we had just moved into this new neighborhood. I was like pretty young. I was probably like 11 or like maybe even younger than that. I don't know. And like the creepy. So we were at my grandma's house and we get the call being like, hey, your alarm went off. We think someone broke in, whatever. We get home and my parents are like checking for things that are missing or whatever. And I go upstairs with my mom because that's where all of our rooms are. And in my house, we have this like bridge that kind of like goes from one end to the other, and you can kind of like look over both sides to see the main floor. And the bridge is like lined with like dark wood, I guess. And it gets like dusty, right? Like it gets dusty on there, and you could like see like the fingerprints of this person like walking across, like dragging their hands like on the ledge, and that like haunts me to this day. It's so creepy. I'm like, oh,
yeah, I feel
no.
that.
Yeah.
I feel that. Mine was like so, like at this time, like my sleep pattern was just all messed up back in the day, and my mom would sometimes leave the window open, and we lived on the ground floor, and she would like sleep in the room and like lock her door like just when she was sick, and so like I thought my dad came home to check up on me because I was taking like a weird midday nap at like 7 p.m.
God, you
or
were
something.
in the house?
Yes. So
That's crazy.
So I was sleeping, it's dark. It's like I was taking like a 7 p.m. nap. The door opens. I remember and I looked up. I was like, oh, the shape and figure looked like my dad. I'm like, oh, it's my dad. Like hello. And he like closed the door and walked away. And I'm like, it's probably dad. I kept sleeping, and then I woke up at like an hour or two later. I come out and I was like, yo, Ivan, did you walk with mud on your boots in the house? I was like, no. Why would I ever do that? Like, what is this then? I'm like, I don't know. I thought dad came home earlier. He's like, no, I just got home. And we noticed that they pulled like the screen mesh and he broke through the window. I was like, I was in my boxers. I was free. I was.
He could have broken into my house and broken into me.
Yeah. But I was like, that's what?
That's crazy.
Crazy. I was just having my mom locked her door room, but like mine at the time didn't have one. So if I was not ready, I was like groggy, like hello, like
Oh yeah, dad.
yeah. The guy opened the door, looked at me, and was like, close it. I was like, yeah.
Did he take anything?
Yeah, he took like the iPad in the living room and stuff. But like still, it's just like, what the hell? Like
That's crazy.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
because
that's
usually when
scary.
someone breaks in, you're like, never knew it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember seeing like the shadow figure. My room was dark. It's just the light hitting his back. I was like, what is going on? Yeah, that's crazy.
That sounds like the worst thief I've ever heard of in my life. Midday, muddy boots, makes eye contact. He's like,
Oh shit! I'm gonna take your iPad though.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you got away with it. I was tired. He was probably like, nah, he ain't moving.
He's like, you jailbreak this thing or what?
Did you have like a mask on or anything? Or no?
It was like one of those things where it's like, because my room was dark and like it was the kitchen light, so
Yeah.
like everything was shadowed, so like I could not see. And I had my glasses off at the
Yeah,
time, so I was
that's
just
fair.
blind. Yeah. No.
That would scar me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys ever get broken into? You ever had
Yeah,
one?
my house got broken into, but we were on vacation during that time. And now we always just make sure there's like someone like kind of house sitting or one of the neighbors is just like there checking up, getting the mail for us.
Yeah.
So
My dad has hella cameras.
Yo, you're not.
That like any movement, he's like, someone is out there. I'm like, okay, it's probably a leaf.
it's like,
but-
Dad, that's just the dog.
Yeah.
Again.
Again.
It's like, I don't know. maybe the robber's really good at disguise this time.
Is that my dog?
Yeah, it's kind of real now.
Wait, did you see? I saw this video recently that it was like, this is how someone's been stealing my packages, and they've been under like a cone, like a construction cone, like one of those big like cylindrical ones, and it was like them just like shuffling and grabbing the package and then going back out.
Oh man,
so funny.
God.
That just reminds me of like Toy Story 2.
Literally, yes,
It's
that's basically
This is
it.
Woody and Buzz stealing your Amazon.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, it's not. I'm like, that's not real.
No.
Like, who thinks of that? Yeah, no. There's some person B apartment living now, and it's like,
Oh, for sure.
I'm like, I don't know how to backyard to deal with. I know one can break in unless this guy's Spider-Man. And like,
Even then, I
Package
still religiously lock my
Yeah.
patio door. I'm like, what if there is a spider? Like, what if there is just someone who's very good at climbing? I don't want to take my chances with that.
If they're very good at climbing, they're athletic, and they're gonna kill me. I'm locking that
Yeah.
thing.
for sure.
No. There's a
100%.
mental path
Dude, and,
towards
like,
death.
I remember I would like lock the door all the time, and like whoever I was like seeing at the time or whatever would be like, who's gonna come in through that? Like, why do you have to lock it? I'm like, dude, why take our chance? Like, why
Yeah.
take our chances
Yeah.
when you just have
Yeah.
to?
You're locking
Yeah.
that.
That's it. That's
yeah,
it.
I agree. It's like, part of me is like, damn, like I live on the 25th floor. If he got there,
25th.
if he got there, I might just give it to him. I'd be like, this is your
Yeah,
pride.
here you go. Take all my money. Here's $5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that like if he got to the 25th floor,
Right.
that lock is not stopping him.
Like there's gotta be a better
Not a
unit to break
chance.
into.
He's the best.
For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
He
yeah.
deserves it at
He
that
does,
point.
he does.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But going with that logic, it's like I'm not like a religious person or like a person who believes in like the supernatural. But it's one of those things where like I don't want to mess around and find out. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yeah.
So I do
Exactly.
this.
Yeah.
I'll just lock the door or like chainmail. I'm a sucker for chainmail sometimes.
Stop.
I'm like, it's like I know I'll die in 3 days, but whatever.
You're done.
You said I read that as I'm a sucker for chainmail, and I imagine you in this like medieval like metal garment. And I'm like, what do you mean you're a sucker for chainmail?
Like
I just like the way it feels on my skin.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll find ways. Like I once said to friends, I'll type in like something like John.Smith96. Like that has to be someone, and it'll go somewhere. But like I feel a little bit more relieved. Or like the weird like you go through TikToks like the use this sound.
Save
play
the
through-
sound.
Who is still getting chainmail
Yeah,
on
I'm
their
not getting that.
emails?
It's not
Yeah.
chainmail, but it's more TikTok. Like
Okay.
that same energy. It's like
That's
you know
so
what?
funny.
Like
are you like a risk adverse person versus
no,
risk taking?
I take risks. It's just
Okay.
it's just one of these things where it's like I think when it comes to taking risks, I feel like just calculated taking risks and you can come at it. I don't know what a ghost will do. I don't know what
Bad
like,
luck for 7 years.
Yeah,
bad luck
fair,
for 7
fair,
years.
fair,
Like I
fair.
can't calculate that.
Hmm.
So then I'll. Hey Sean.
Send it my way. I'm gonna send it right back to you. See what that does.
That's what it's,
Are you more risk averse?
I think I am
Sean
a
is
chaotic
not
person.
risk-
I think there's multiple scars on my knees from poor calculations.
I don't think that's a risk.
no. Like you're not a gambler.
I think you're stupid.
Hmm.
I think you're not.
You're like water and fire inside.
I think it's also different when you're intoxicated versus
true,
not.
True. You're chaotic, but you are like so like concrete, like not risk.
Yeah, I would
taker
say
as
you're
a
quite
person.
calculated.
You're very like
Yeah.
If it doesn't fit
Well
within something
informed.
I have control over, you ain't taking it. But I'm like, hit me.
Yeah, I wouldn't say you're like a control freak.
No, I if it's like the odds are fair, like why not? So,
I feel like I just
Are you? Sorry,
I just never want to lose, you know? Like, if there's, like, a lot, I'm like, I'd rather just plan it in a way where I don't take a chance to lose. So I guess that, like, is the same way.
Yeah. Like, what's the percentile you're willing to take? Let's say whatever you're doing, 50-50s, will you take those?
I won't take 50-50s unless it's funny. if there's a joke to be had, if there's an experience from it, those risks, even the loss comes with some sort of reward because it's like, wow, that was for a reason. But without a reason, 100% loss, I won't risk. If I gain something in the loss, that's when we're talking.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I feel.
And then yourself?
Yeah, I would say I'm pretty risk averse.
Yeah, you give me a risk.
Yeah. I think that's like my mom is very risk averse too, so I feel like that's the way I was like raised. But I would say I'm not as risk averse as her.
No, your mom.
Yeah.
I mean, but based off what she does for a living or
Yeah,
for a living,
that makes sense.
Like,
Yeah.
she can't take risks.
Yeah, like whereas I'm like a creative, so like that's like different. I feel like I have more like imagination, but for the most part, I like play it pretty safe to an extent. But I would also say like if I am taking a risk, it's because I have like I have 100% confidence that I'll figure it out. Like I believe that 100%. Like that's half the reason why I do anything in life is because I'm like, oh, I'll figure that out for sure.
Okay.
Like I have no problem knowing that whatever happens, I got it.
Yeah, okay. I feel similar. Like I'll take like risks when I know that like I can figure something out, I can solve it, and like even if I start it, by the time it's finished, I'll have figured it out and I'll like have a good grasp on it.
Yeah.
Okay. See, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No.
I was gonna say like hearing your thinking, it's like crazy because it's so different. Like where for me, where it kind of falls in similar suit, but it's the other way where like I'm willing to gamble because I'm okay with losing that amount or that much. So it's like it's not about like getting this like I know like if I hit it I know I get it, but like if I lose I'm okay with whatever that loss may be. But you guys are thinking of like
I'm trying to maximize.
You're trying to maximize.
Yeah,
I'm trying to maximize for sure.
Here.
Like for me, it's less about who's calling.
Ooh, it's one of his alarms.
It's one of my alarms. Yeah, I will
A
return
guest.
the call.
A guest caller.
You're on line one.
You're-
I'll call back.
Thanks for
after.
calling
I'll call back
City
after.
Thots Podcast.
Thanks for calling in.
What were we talking about?
Oh, just being risk-averse.
Oh yeah, like I would say like half the reasons it's more so like a decision making thing. Like I'm like, which decision is gonna give me the most, and that typically is the like safer option, which is what makes me risk averse.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which just makes sense. Like you want to choose your best option.
You compound like the small wins
Yeah.
instead of like taking big swings, and then you just like steady increase.
Yeah.
That's the way I see most things.
Sometimes
Yeah.
The little big swings give you the dopamine rushes enough.
But I would also say like all of the bigger things that I've thought about that are like riskier at the time, I'll just think about them for a really long time and eventually do it.
Okay.
Like,
But do you build up to it or like?
yeah, I build up to it. Like I'll think about it for a long time, like months or like even like a year, like however long, and I'll like keep it'll like it's like a scale where it's like, okay, this decision, like the safer decision is like better, and as it goes, like it just gets smaller and smaller until like the riskier decision is now more attractive, and that's when I make the leap. But I could have just made that leap like way earlier. But it it all ends up the same. So
It all ends up the same.
yeah.
And that's a big thing too. Like a lot of things in life too is like it's not about the destination. It's about the journey, guys. It's about the friends you made along the way.
Okay.
I'm gonna go nowhere and make no friends. It's my ideal living situation.
Yeah, straight.
But I feel that. Because like my head is like, let's say if I hit this home run, it makes me $100. That means I got 3 tries to make this home run, or 3 and a bit. But if the odds of hitting this home run are like 50-60%, the odds are within my favor. Just keep swinging to the back.
No, but it's got to be something where there's a negative outcome that could come
I lose
with it.
$30, and I could not make any home run and lose more money.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But I'm okay with spending that $100, and
Okay.
calculatively, that if I hit on the first, I make money. The second, I make money. Even the third, I'll make $10. It's only the fourth where it kind of sucks.
I just didn't know these were the rules of baseball. Strike 2, $10.
$10, please.
You're paying off the ump who's like, no, this man has one more strike, I swear.
I had this talk with someone, and I don't know, we're on sports, and it came into my mind. Is there a sport that someone plays you find it's just attractive? Like they're like, ooh, like that's just like, and there's a lot of sports they can play. Like you can be like, damn, she curls, or like, damn, he crickets. Like I don't know, but we're talking about like, out of the main sports, like I think volleyball, at least from a guy to girl perspective, I think volleyball girls are If a girl plays volleyball, A1. But just because I play volleyball.
Okay, fair.
But like
Similar interests.
Similar interests, yeah.
I like basketball.
You like basketball?
Yeah.
What about basketball?
Tall.
Sure, it's not something else.
No.
I feel like Sean got me there.
I knew what you were alluding to. Yeah.
Okay, basketball tall, but you can have tall football players. You have tall soccer. No.
That's true. Well, I think I prefer a like less contact sport in terms of concussions.
Okay.
Yeah, and just like general like safety. Like I think that would stress me out to like date someone who's like getting their head smashed every single day. You know what I mean?
Dating like an MMA fighter.
Yeah, like
It's
that.
like, oh,
that would,
honey,
like,
you did so great.
stress
Let me
me
just
out.
put your eye back in the socket.
Literally, or like let's put your fake teeth back in. You know what I mean? Like that's not.
Could be cute.
Yeah, like I don't.
Okay.
Like same thing with like I think like hockey is attractive, but like do I want to know that this person's getting like pucks shot at their face every like other day? Probably not.
Got it.
I just find any sport where you can just throw your gloves down and then just fight someone.
Yeah.
To me, I've always been so fascinated. I was like, where did this tradition come from that we just like we'll just fight and then it's cool and you can sit in a little box for 2 minutes and then go back and potentially fight someone else.
Yeah.
Usually it's
That's
like,
true.
nope, you're kicked out
That's
the
like
league,
illegal.
you're
Like,
fine.
that's actually
That should not
illegal.
be
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just like I'm like watching hockey as a kid. I was like, Dad, can they do that?
He's like, yep. Yeah, no, I especially back in the, like, I don't know anything about hockey, but I remember, like, our friend was telling us back in the, like, yeah, the people just get put on teams because they're just good at fighting.
Yes.
I'm like,
you're in the wrong sport, my guy.
Yeah, they're called, like, enforcers or bruisers or something. I'm
Oh my
like,
god.
because they would just protect, like, your golden egg. And like, people used to, like, just be like, yo, knock out the golden egg, and that's all you do. And then you hire bodyguards for your golden boy. I'm like, what kind of sport is this?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I never understood hockey.
You're like lining up in like the school playground. It's like, oh, my first pick, John Wick.
yeah. Come on, John Wick, Omni-Man. Like, oh, the whole lineup. Yeah, no, that's crazy. But okay, basketball's fair.
Yeah.
So it's just the height thing, though. It's not like the fact that they play the sport.
No, I actually think like the sport itself is like attractive.
I've never
and,
seen
like-
play basketball in my life, bro.
But why do I have to play it?
Is it
Yeah, it's
really?
just, like,
I
what you're
guess.
attracted to.
Okay, sorry. I'm thinking like.
But actually, when I was like in elementary and high school, that was like my choice of sport.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Actually,
Yeah.
you're tall. I can see that.
Yeah, I'm average height. Yeah.
You're not average height.
I am an average female height.
For an Asian girl.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
I see you differently.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
like-
For
I'm
an
like,
Asian girl, I'm tall.
You are
yeah,
tall.
for sure.
Fair.
But yeah, I would say that. I would also say like not that I necessarily watch basketball, but if I were to like choose, like the reason I wouldn't choose soccer is because I find watching soccer boring.
It's so boring.
So boring. Whereas like I could find like basketball interesting also. Yeah.
I respect that. Do you have one? Do you have a weird like?
Nothing really stands out for me because I'm like, okay, if you're a volleyball player, I'm like, hey, honey, like, how you doing?
They
How
can be
you
a
doing
short
up there?
volleyball player.
That's
like they don't
true.
have to be a professional. Like
Just gotta
what's
date
like
the lib.
Dude,
Date the libero.
Usually libs are still 6 feet. At
Yeah.
least for men's. At least for men's. I don't know about girls, but yeah, I can see that. I like tall girls though, actually.
Yeah, no. I just like I've never been like drawn to a certain sport. Like I
Okay.
find like athleticism attractive,
general,
but
yeah.
it's never stuck to one specific sport.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
I agree.
So, do you like tall girls or short girls?
I don't think I have a preference. I think dating a tall girl, like I would have absolutely no problem with that. Like dating a girl that's like considerably taller than me.
Yeah.
I'd be fine as even.
Considerably.
Yeah, I'd just be like,
No, I kind of like. I want a girl who's like taller because like, what if you kiss me on the forehead? You tuck me in.
You want to be baby.
I want to be big. I want to be the little jet. I want to be. I never had the full on jetpack experience. You know.
It's not a jetpack at that point.
Yeah, it's a spoon.
That's
It's
just
she's
a big spoon,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's true. Usually I have a jetpack.
Yeah.
Where I'm
exactly.
like, she's trying, but it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Would you ever date short king?
Like how short?
You know how like for guys just a crazy to hot scale, like by like how much your mother like memes and personality to height scale for girls. Let's say like 10 personality, 5'3".
5'3" hard because I also like wear heels. You know what I mean? Like
He can wear heels.
He can wear,
That's
he can wear
true.
heels.
You can wear some like.
Have you seen the
platforms.
pictures of Robert Downey Jr. in like the sets where he has like the stiletto boots, so he's like similar height to like all the other like Avengers?
Yes.
And he's rocking those boots.
He's rocking
For
them.
sure.
He's rocking those
For sure.
boots.
Will you take that deal?
A 10 personality?
10 personality is like 5'3".
Yeah, I guess if for a 10 personality, I would take that.
Wow.
Yeah. But anything less than a 10, no. It's got to be a 10.
9.9.
Tough.
He's a 9, but 5'4" personality.
I think I would need to like compare it to someone I know who's like a 10, and then like 10, I'm like attracted to them, and that's tough because that's not really like a thing. But and then consider if I would still like them short, and then I can have that answer. You know what I mean? Yeah, like it's hard to like imagine it. You know what I mean?
Oh man.
Because actually no, what's hard to imagine is a 10 personality. What is a 10 personality? Have you ever seen that? I've never seen that. Like it's just, I think that's the hardest thing to wrap my head around. I can picture a person short,
True. What is it?
but I can't picture like the most like perfect 10 out of 10 personality because it's just like never existed / never could exist.
You know, I think I've had one.
Really?
I think I have one. She was kind of like the one that got away.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Do I know this person?
Through stories.
Okay.
But this is like, I was like so long ago. And I'm thinking like, is this just because I was young? But like, I think everything like, no, like she had a real good personality.
Oh wow.
The 10 personality.
Damn.
But yeah, it's true. It's pretty hard. Like what would your 10 personality look like? Like,
I don't know.
Right?
It's just
Exactly.
like so
It's
without
hard to, like-
reference of
Yeah.
like I need like a 7, 8, 9 to know what a 10 is.
Yes.
And I just have
I
no
need to
frame
like
of reference.
see. You were supposed to say your girlfriend.
nah,
That was the wrong answer. We'll try again. Roll the tapes back. Rewind.
tell her to
cut.
call you again.
I need your 10 personality.
She's a little tall. Maybe she's a 8 personality, 5'4", you know?
But it's less important for you guys for short and tall, doesn't it?
I
don't know. Height is not like a,
Yeah.
it's like a factor. to
I'm
me.
starting to make it a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I want it to be a thing. My knees hurt.
Like I can't bend down anymore.
I can't bend down
It's
anymore.
too much. It's too much.
Can't do it. Certain things are awkward. I don't want it. I'm
Alright.
starting a 5'5" claws. Personally.
Wow. 5'5" claws.
Yep.
That's not like the biggest ask in the world,
No,
to be
that's
honest.
average-
So that's,
average
that's,
height, yeah.
I think you're good.
Yeah.
I'm not like looking for like 6'1" WNBA player. I'm like 5'5".
I feel like you're at the level of like roller coaster where it's like you need to be like this tall and it's not that tall.
Yeah.
But that's the limit.
I just like plan out dates where we like go. You know how like a lot of restaurants or stores have like the height measurement thing for when people like rob like stores or restaurants.
What height?
You know, yeah. So like stores and like malls or places, they'll have at entrance and exits, they'll have like
you're
the
telling
height
me
measured on the side, right? So if someone robs them
Oh.
and they run out, if you look at it, you can tell them like, oh, when he exited the
I see.
store.
I've never
Yeah.
seen that.
Oh, you never seen that?
No,
It's usually-
and I work retail.
You worked in retail. I worked in restaurants. Neither of
Neither of us. I'm like,
ever
you're making
heard.
shit up.
Oh no! Like yeah, like tell us how to.
I thought you were talking about, like those big, like those things that beep.
Oh.
And I was thinking, okay, like maybe they're like the relative to the height of that. You
Oh.
could guess, but
Yeah,
that's
no.
a whole other thing.
Yeah, some other stores have like little height references. So if someone
Okay.
like robbed your store and they left the same exit,
It makes sense. It makes
That makes
sense.
sense. Yeah.
that'll help you identify. Yeah, I'll just bring her through one of those.
I'm sure you could tell by looking at the person, like how, like approximately what the height is. No, relative to you.
Okay, depends. I've been kind of good and bad. I'm a 50-50, I guess. Like I've been pretty bad with short girls. Because I think anything like 5'4" or 5'3", it all becomes 5 foot in my mind. So I'm like, 5'1". 5'1". But like taller than I'm like, oh yeah, they look like a
Like,
5'7",
yeah, it's crazy. I don't know what this
Like,
is.
can you tell if a guy's 6 foot or not? Like,
Yeah, I can tell.
You can tell?
Well, I can tell if they're 4 inches taller than me, or not 4. It would be more than that. 6 inches taller.
Yeah, I was about to say, how
Sorry.
tall are you?
Sorry. No.
You taught out here, you average girl? You're not even doing average at all.
Not that.
I'm Sam. I'm 6 foot. I jump over wolves.
Yeah.
Not this again.
You're fighting. You're not fighting if you're 5'8".
No, I'm flighting with that.
With
my
leaping
limbs.
bounds.
Yeah,
dude.
You're
for
just
sure.
running through the
That's all the
forest.
wolves gonna be like, I don't want you. That's too funny. Okay.
All right. Well, with that, I feel like we covered some decent topics.
I don't think any one of our topics was decent, but
That's
we
true,
covered
that's
them.
true.
We covered them.
We covered a lot of topics. And if you made it this far, thank you so much for bearing with our shenanigans, I guess. Leave us a comment if you have like topics that you want us to talk about. Because we're always taking suggestions. We have like a running Google Doc and it's filled with just absolute bullshit. So we are crowdsourcing some topics for sure. And if you enjoyed this, then feel free to subscribe and like this video. Comment, do some things.
Let us know.
Yeah.
How tall do you think we all are here?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Sam is.
No, I already yeah, that was some bad math that I just did there.
That was some girl math.
Yeah, that was some
Some
girl
girl
math.
math.
Yeah, for sure.
Girl math.
Yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.